and welcome to our first book talk this month. Thank you so much for joining me, and as you can see, we're in the library basement, so as of May 6th, the library is still open, and we're waiting to find out when the work will be done to our heating and cooling system. So we will keep you posted on that situation, but if you're watching this and you're wondering what's going on, we don't have the schedule for the work yet. So thank you for joining me today. Our book today, our first May read, is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. And this book is a psychological thriller. As I mentioned in the previous video, I've wanted to read this book for a few years, and that's one thing I like about readathon months. It gives me the opportunity to read books that I might already have and not just focus on the newer releases. Although all the titles are available through our library, they're either available in our library system itself as an interlibrary loan or on one of our apps. So I like reading books, and I've mentioned this before, I like reading books, going into them, knowing very little about them, and I think this is the best way to read this book especially. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The book is told from two characters' points of view, Theo and Alicia. Alicia is an artist. She is now in The Grove, which is a secure psychiatric unit in London after a traumatic event with her husband. Theo is a criminal psychotherapist. And the story is told through Theo's account of his work life and his home life, interspersed with excerpts from Alicia's diaries. Alicia's silence since the death of her husband has piqued public interest in her and her art. Her only real statement has been a painting she made soon after her husband died. Theo applied for a job at the psychiatric unit that Alicia is in so that he could help Alicia. He is, as he says, resolved to stop at nothing until Alicia becomes his patient. His method of therapy relies on the relationship between the patient and the therapist. As they interact, the therapist, in this case Theo, pays attention to how the interactions with the patient affect him. What do those interactions cause him to feel? This is a clue to the patient's state of mind and what would best help them. Theo became a therapist because therapy helped him so much in his personal life, and he wants to help others. Some of his methods are not entirely accepted practices. And that might be true of some of the other therapists at the Grove. When he arrives at the Grove, he starts researching Alicia's case, going as far as interviewing her acquaintances, her friends, and her family members to try to better understand her and her situation. He's convinced that he needs to do whatever he can to help. And though Theo is met with resistance, he is determined to succeed and discover what caused Alicia to take the actions she did. All of which may cause Theo to examine his own motivations and just may consume him. This book is fast-paced, and therein lies its success. It grabbed my attention from the very beginning and held it throughout the story. I was so involved in the story and discovering what was going on that I did not want to put it down, and I read it in 2 days. For our similar reads today, I'm going to focus on books that feature psychologists. And first is Gray Matter, and we don't have it physically in the library system, but you can get it through one of our apps. And it's a mystery in which the psychologist, P.J. Gray, works for the police department and is intent on solving a series of homicides. And to do that, she uses software that she created. Next is one of my favorite books, and it is told through the perspective of the patient, and it has some truly excellent scenes with the patient and the psychologist. And the book is Ordinary People by Judith. Life has changed drastically for the Jarrett family since their oldest son, Buck, died in a tragic accident. It's been especially hard on the younger brother, Conrad, and he eventually ends up seeking the help of a therapist. And Golden Couple by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. It features Avery, a therapist who has lost her license, but this does not deter her from counseling patients. Marissa and Matthew's relationship is failing, leading them to seek her help. And in seeking her help, they must agree to follow her methods. But the secrets that all three of them have just may put them in danger. And there we are. I hope you enjoyed our talk about the silent patients and other books that feature psychology and therapists. We'll be back next week when we're going to talk about two of the books by the author Crystal Sutherland, House of Hollow and Chemical Hearts. Both young adult titles. I hope to see you then. And until then, I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.